Welcome to Planet Stream, your trusted global window into the world's most important stories, where military power, politics, and strategy collide. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon, because today's report reveals a seismic shift in the global balance of power. Iran has officially received advanced Russian Su-35 fighter jets despite heavy international sanctions. This delivery marks not only a turning point for the Iranian Air Force but a new era in Moscow-Tehran cooperation. Defense analysts around the world are warning that this could dramatically change the military landscape of the Middle East, raising tensions with Israel, the United States, and the Gulf Arab states. The arrival of the Su-35s in Iran is not just another arms deal, it's a declaration of intent. For years, Iran's Air Force has struggled with outdated American-made jets left over from the Shah's era in the 1970s. While Tehran has poured resources into drone development and missile programs, its manned aircraft fleet remained antiquated and vulnerable. That has now changed. With the Su-35, Iran finally joins the small circle of nations possessing advanced fourth-generation plus fighters, capable of challenging Western aircraft in both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. The Su-35, developed by Russia's Sukhoi Design Bureau, is a formidable machine. It's often described as the ultimate evolution of the Su-27 platform, a heavy multi-role fighter with supermaneuverability, long range, and state-of-the-art radar systems. Its AL-41F1S engines allow for thrust vectoring, giving it extreme agility in dogfights. Its Airbus E radar can detect targets over 400 kilometers away, track up to 30 aircraft at once, and engage multiple targets simultaneously. In short, this aircraft is not just an upgrade, it's a leap. When Iran entered the picture, Moscow found a willing buyer, and, politically, a perfect partner. Iran has been under heavy international sanctions for decades, limiting its ability to purchase modern military equipment. Even its indigenous aircraft programs, like the Kausar and Azarich, were mostly upgrades of old American F-5s. But now, with Russia facing isolation from the West due to its war in Ukraine, both countries saw an opportunity to help each other. Iran supplied Russia with combat drones and ammunition, while Russia provided Iran with advanced military technology in return, including the Su-35. According to defense insiders, the first batch of these fighters arrived quietly at a military base near Isfahan, escorted under heavy security. Satellite images show hardened shelters being prepared months in advance, indicating the level of planning involved. The delivery reportedly includes training for Iranian pilots, maintenance crews, and radar integration systems compatible with the aircraft's avionics. Why is this such a big deal? Because for the first time in decades, Iran will have the capability to contest air superiority in its region. Until now, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the US military enjoyed an overwhelming advantage. Israeli F-35 stealth fighters could operate almost unhindered. American bases across the Gulf were protected by advanced aircraft and missile defenses. Iran's response capability was largely limited to ballistic missiles and drones. But the Su-35 changes that calculus. Imagine a scenario in which an Israeli strike package enters Iranian airspace. Until now, Iran would rely on ground-based air defense systems like the BAVAR-373 or imported S-300s to repel the attack. With the Su-35s in the sky, Iran can intercept, engage, and possibly deter such operations much earlier. These fighters can also carry long-range R-77 and R-37 air-to-air missiles, giving them lethal reach. The geopolitical implications are immense. Israel has already voiced alarm. Officials in Tel Aviv have described the delivery as a strategic threat that cannot be ignored. The Israeli Air Force, though equipped with F-35I stealth jets, is now reassessing its tactics for potential future confrontations. Meanwhile, the United States has condemned the sale, calling it a dangerous deepening of military cooperation between two sanctioned regimes. Washington fears the growing Russia-Iran partnership could undermine its influence in both Eastern Europe and the Middle East simultaneously. And then there's Israel. For years, Israel has maintained air dominance not only over its own territory but across Syria, Lebanon, and parts of Iraq through long-range strikes. With Su-35s, Iran could now protect its assets and even threaten Israeli aircraft flying in neighboring airspace. Israeli military planners are already discussing the need to strengthen coordination with the US and potentially expand their stealth fleet. From a military perspective, integrating the Su-35 into Iran's air force is no small feat. These jets are technologically complex. Iranian pilots have begun intensive training in Russia, reportedly at bases near Lipetsk and Astrakhan. Sources suggest that Russia will maintain a technical advisory team in Iran for at least the first 2 years to ensure smooth operation and maintenance. Additionally, Iran is working to upgrade its radar and command systems to fully utilize the fighter's long-range sensors. It's also believed that the Su-35s will operate alongside Iran's BAVAR-373 missile defense batteries, creating a layered defense network similar to the Russian model. This combination could significantly enhance Iran's air defense posture. For example, Su-35s could detect and intercept targets that ground radars can't easily track, such as low-flying cruise missiles or stealth aircraft. Let's not forget the psychological impact. For decades, Iran's adversaries viewed its air force as outdated and largely symbolic. The introduction of these modern jets transforms that perception. It sends a message to rivals, and even to the Iranian people, that the country is capable of matching major powers militarily. Propaganda videos showcasing the Su-35 flying over Iranian skies are already being shared widely on state media, portraying the acquisition as a national triumph. But there are challenges too. Owning Su-35s doesn't automatically make Iran a dominant air power. These aircraft require advanced maintenance, spare parts, and pilot proficiency. Sanctions could make logistics complicated, as obtaining replacement components might require direct Russian assistance. Furthermore, Israel and the US possess electronic warfare capabilities that could disrupt the Su-35's radar or communication systems in combat. Still, the deterrence value alone is immense. From an economic standpoint, the deal also reveals a new currency strategy between Russia and Iran. Since both countries are cut off from Western financial systems, they have resorted to barter-like arrangements, oil for weapons, drones for aircraft. This arrangement bypasses traditional payment systems and strengthens both economies under sanctions. Analysts believe this could become a model for other sanctioned states, such as North Korea or Venezuela, to engage in similar cooperation. Globally, the timing of this deal is symbolic. As the world focuses on conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, the arrival of the Su-35s reminds everyone that the geopolitical chessboard is expanding. Russia is proving that it can still export high-tech military products, despite its ongoing war and economic restrictions. Iran is proving it can acquire them, despite global pressure. The message is defiance, both to Washington and to the international system that sought to isolate them. The Pentagon has responded cautiously, with officials acknowledging the seriousness of the development but insisting that the US maintains superior air power. However, military planners are already considering how to adapt. One official was quoted saying, "We have to assume that any potential confrontation with Iran now involves a much more capable opponent in the air." In the broader Middle East, the implications extend beyond direct conflict. Iran's new capabilities could embolden its regional proxies. Hezbollah in Lebanon might feel more secure under the shadow of a stronger Iranian air force. The Houthis in Yemen could receive more advanced intelligence or logistical support. Iraq's Shia militias, many aligned with Tehran, might also benefit indirectly from improved Iranian reconnaissance capabilities. On the Russian side, the delivery strengthens its narrative of global reach. Facing sanctions and diplomatic isolation, Russia is repositioning itself as the arsenal for countries outside the Western sphere. Moscow's cooperation with Tehran, Beijing, and even Pyongyang is reshaping international alignments. The Su-35 sale is part of that broader strategy, one that seeks to create a network of military partnerships challenging Western dominance. As this story unfolds, it's clear that the skies over the Middle East are entering a new era. For decades, American and Israeli aircraft ruled unchallenged. Now, a new player has entered the arena, one armed with some of Russia's finest aviation technology and driven by a powerful political agenda. Whether Iran will use these aircraft defensively or as leverage in negotiations remains to be seen, but the potential for escalation is undeniable. Defense experts caution that this deal might spark a technological race. Israel might push for accelerated deliveries of additional F-35s or even request access to the next-generation F-15EX. Gulf states could demand more Patriot and THAAD batteries. The US might expand its base infrastructure in the region. In essence, the Su-35 delivery could set off a chain reaction that redraws military spending and strategy across the Middle East. On the diplomatic front, Western countries are already considering additional sanctions targeting Russian and Iranian defense industries. However, enforcement will be tricky. Both Moscow and Tehran have become adept at evading restrictions through intermediaries, shadow shipping, and domestic production. Meanwhile, other nations watching from the sidelines, such as Turkey, India, and China, will observe how this partnership develops, possibly influencing their own defense procurement choices. For ordinary citizens in the region, this news evokes mixed feelings. In Iran, state media celebrates the arrival of the jets as a symbol of national pride and self-reliance. In Israel and the Gulf, the public views it as a potential threat to stability. Across the world, people wonder whether this new arms alignment will bring deterrence or disaster. Ultimately, one thing is certain: the Middle East has entered a new chapter of military competition. The Su-35's arrival in Iran isn't just about planes, it's about power projection, survival, and defiance. The skies that were once dominated by Western aircraft now have new contenders, and every future mission, every patrol, every radar blip will carry new tension. This development underscores a broader truth about our time: alliances are shifting, and the lines between friend and foe are becoming more blurred. Russia and Iran's cooperation is not only military but ideological, a shared opposition to Western hegemony and sanctions. Together, they're sending a clear signal: the global order is changing, and new powers are rising from the shadows. As we close this analysis, remember that history often turns quietly, with the roar of jet engines, the signing of secret contracts, and the unveiling of new arsenals. The delivery of Russian Su-35s to Iran is one such turning point. It may reshape how wars are fought, how nations prepare, and how peace is negotiated in one of the world's most volatile regions. This is Planet Stream, your source for deep, clear, and global insights. If you found this report informative, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more powerful stories that reveal the forces shaping our world. Stay tuned, stay aware, and thank you for watching Planet Stream, where the world comes into focus.